Yes, everybody, it's that time again. It's the Armory. It's myself and Mr. Silver Fox, and it's gonna be the preview show. Watford versus Arsenal. You know what? Let's get into this. Yes, Mr. Silver Fox, how you doing, sir? How we doing? You good?
Not bad, not bad. I'm glad the wait's finally over. It's been a long time. Feels like forever. Really does.
It's like the interlull, isn't it? Like, but
Yeah.
you know, the internationals and everything. But flipping it, yeah, it's been a minute since we last played. Since that night against Wolves. So yeah, it's we're back on the road again. We've got Watford away, which is going to be a tricky. Listen, Hodgson's got them playing a little bit, barring the game against Palace. He's got them playing. So how do you think this one's going to go?
Well, this is what they, particularly at Watford, they call this the London Colney Derby, didn't they? Obviously, the two training grounds are right next to each other. So I think there'll probably be a little bit of banter between the sides. I don't know. I don't know if they shout over the walls or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But now listen, Watford. We saw. I know Man United wasted all their chances last week against them, but they were still solid. Ben Foster had another good game. He's still a top keeper.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that the cycling goalkeeper rides to the stadium tomorrow and he has spaghetti legs. But no, listen. I hear that Sarr might be missing as well, so that's going to be a massive.
Yeah, him and is it Trusty Kong? William Trusty Kong. They're two kind of like youngsters that are tearing up for. Well, they're doing well for them. They're both missing. They're both going to be out. Muscle
But they
strength.
still do have Dennis, who's top goals in the
So
top.
yeah, Dennis has got like 9 goals and 5 assists. So it's someone obviously we're going to have to keep a close eye on. But
I think isn't he the kind of player that can draw a foul in as well? So that kind of concerns me with Xhaka and Gabriel as well. So we have to be on our guard with that.
I think, yeah, that's the thing. So it's like we have to be very, very mindful of him. He's a tricky customer. He runs with the ball very, very well, and he's very, very tricky. So yeah, he's going to cause a few problems. I think at the Emirates when we played him last, we played him quite well. Ismail Sarr had a good game that day as well, but I think Tierney played him quite well, to be honest, that game. But I'm trying to listen. They're a team really of 1 win in their last 9.
Yeah.
And at home they've only got 7 points out of possible 39. However, that's relegation form. However, as we said at the top of the show, Hodgson, though, since he's come in, he's kind of shored it up at the back, which culminated obviously in their last game against United. By their humbling against Palace, he's not doing too bad at the moment. I mean, he's got them kind of like that little bit more disciplined at the back, so it's not going to be an easy game.
No, and they're going to know as well. If they saw the way we played against Wolves, because we did play well against Wolves, and we did attack them, so they know how to withstand the pressure. Because obviously we saw it with Man United. As long as we take those chances, it's all about taking those chances. That is the key. Yeah, exactly. That is key in this game. Take our chances, and we'll get the 3 points.
Yeah. I mean, do you see any or envisage any kind of changes in the first 11? I think my 11 will probably look something like with you'd probably have Ramsdale, Cedric, White, Gabriel, Tierney, Xhaka and Partey in midfield. Then you got Saka, Odegaard, and Smith Rowe. Does he keep his place instead of Martinelli, or does Martinelli come in for ESR? And then obviously Lacquer up front. I think that's maybe the only one little kind of like, does he go with Martinelli or Smith Rowe?
Obviously my personal preference would be Smith Rowe. But then I hear cases of this could be a game that Martinelli flourishes in. I don't know. The thing is, it's a great headache to have. I think whoever starts, and then whoever comes on can be impactful either way. It's the same with the other side, Saka and Pepe. You could start Pepe.
He's knocking at the door. You know, his cameo when he come on for Wolves against Wolves.
On the side, the difference is I would rather start with Saka because then Pepe can change the tempo. I don't think Saka could. So I would have to start Saka.
I think there's a little fixture of games that we have which are quite close together, and that's when I can see maybe a little rotation, i.e. Because I think it was Liverpool, Leicester,
and Liverpool, and Villa away. Which, by the way, that game concerns me now. I didn't realise it was a lunchtime game, that Villa game. So after those two games, this is how big this game is. And Leicester, we need to get 6 points because those two games, they're very concerning for me.
Well, listen. Just on, we got our guy James. How you doing, sir? Well, afternoon, mate. You obviously had a heavy one last night. He's changed his mind on Pepe. Start him at left wing. Listen, there's no doubting he changed the game. And he can play on the left wing. But he's very, very much, as you say, he's knocking on that door for a start, really. I mean, what he did, I think I'm not sure if you saw in the press or in the media, some media outlets earlier with Tierney, with him talking. Tierney says that he's the worst player to play against. He's the hardest player basically to play against. He's horrible. And that's coming from Tierney, so that that's some kind of praise there.
Yeah. No, we're starting to see it, and he took that goal really well as well, didn't he? He turned,
all in one movement.
He didn't even look up. He had a little glance and just smashed it in. So look, I think he got a bit of confidence from going to AFCON. I think that helped.
Yeah.
And we've seen it before. It's like the second half of the season, he just turns into a different monster. I think
starts getting a little warmer, no doubt.
Is he
trying? It's bloody freezing today, by the way.
Move away, or is he trying to make a case? I don't know. I really don't know.
Do you know what? I think he's a player that we touch wood, touch everything. That if we do make it into the Champions League, he's definitely the type of player that we would need. For that, for that season, and I think he has a future at our club. I really do. I know he divides opinion so much, but I really do feel that there is a player in there which I don't know, hopefully something like might switch on or click or whatever. It's a bit like Partey seems to have kind of like switched on a bit. In the last few,
Xhaka, them two together. I mean, I've been really impressed with both of them the last few games. Look, the thing about Xhaka is he has stupid moments, but when he puts his head down and he's playing, and with Partey as well, you can't really fault them. You really can't. And Gumza picked up on the breakdown on Monday, the way him, Partey, and Odegaard end up playing like a three in the middle, where Xhaka is going to help out on the left. Odegaard helps out on the right, and then you've got Partey
holding the middle
with the park with a little bit of help from Lacazette. So don't fix what's not. You can't fix what's not broken. Do you know what I mean? So keep them. They keep themselves in there.
Is James trolling us here? Jack and White, one of the best players in the league. Listen, there is just something. Listen, those two are playing very well together. And long may it continue. I think if we can keep, the first 11 going, maybe obviously we're going to have like one or two kind of changes here and there. But if we can keep the spine of the team, as much as possible, and that means your Ramsdales, Gabriel's White, Partey and Xhaka, then you can that's where you build from, right? And everything else then fits in around that particular foundation. So it's they're actually doing really well. And coming back to your point in terms of Xhaka not having a stupid moment, let's hope that has been kind of ironed out of his game somewhat. I know he can go.
He's not the only player. I'm just gonna bring this up really
Go
quickly. He's not the only player. He is another one, Gabriel, but he gets a pass because he's still quite new. He's quite flashy, and he does what your centre back to do. But he has moments as well. It scares the living daylights out of me. There was a moment against, I can't remember if it was Wolves or Brentford, where he just lost his head for a minute, and he could have easily got sent off again, but he didn't. So
what is he? 24. He's 24, isn't he?
He's young. He's learning, and I think that as long as he doesn't get wound up like Xhaka, this is what we need to manage is them two players' temperaments, because one moment can cost us a whole game.
Especially going down to 10 against
and the difference with Xhaka gets sent off, as we saw against Wolves, we can then bring on another centre back. We got 3 centre backs to shore up the game. If Gabriel was to do it, we're still stuck with 2 centre backs because we've got no one else after holding. So it's Gabriel scares me more than what Xhaka does. So
really,
it scares me, man. He has moments. Watch him. He has this little moment where he's red and does something a bit daft, but mind you, so does Ben White. See his little trip last week.
Oh, that was naughty, but it was good. It was so naughty, but it was. Do you know what? They did a little kind of what would you call them? Shithousery things that you have to do in a game sometimes. Do you know what I mean? It's like he realised he gave a bad pass away and he's in trouble. Trip the player
up. It must have like an earpiece going. No one's watching you do it.
Do it. Boom. It was brilliant. And do you know what? They're the kind of things that we have to do.
Yeah, you want to see things like that.
You know, I know it's not in terms of the pure art of football and stuff, but listen, the Italians back in the days, the Argentinians, they've been doing it.
Yeah,
they've been doing it.
We had when we can always bring up Man United away. Martin Keown, Ray Parlour got involved, Lauren got involved, Ashley Cole got involved. So
definitely.
that's where it all started.
When it comes to this with James here, I'm going to read this out and tell me what you think. I thought it's quite interesting. Partey is the lone 6. He can be elite at it. If he's consistent, he can be as good as Fabinho and Rodri at it. But he needs 9 out of 10 each game, week in, week out.
He could be as good as Fabinho and Rodri if he can hit the ball on target.
Oh, yeah. Flip say if he can sort out his shooting, and you know what, he just needs to go back, on the training ground, some extra shooting training, because he's definitely everything else in his game is starting now to come off. He's starting to find you know a player when where everything else is going around, where there's no time on the ball, but that one player finds time to have, to be able to get their head up and pick out the correct pass.
He's good with his take-ons as well. Very, very good. You've seen him how he drives the ball forward.
Yep, he's going to be another person who's integral to us. If we want to push on for this top 4, he needs to stay fit, and not so much fears over his disciplinary, but his body more than anything. I think that's the only thing what concerns me about Partey at the moment. Hopefully he's out. He's got rid of all his injury issues that he had. But that's the only thing that concerns me with him, to be fair.
Hey, who knows? It might come to the last game of the season and he scores a 50-yard screamer that gets into the
I'll take that. Take that. Take that. As it is.
I'd have to think scripted if that happened.
As it is, I mean, everything's all in our hands now, so to speak. It's up to us now if for us to go on and take this top 4 position. We've been doing I'm not sure if you guys who've been viewing on Twitter Spaces, there's been we've been involved in a few of those Twitter Spaces, and we've been talking about getting a forward in and the likelihood of how we can kind of if we can secure top 4 what type of player that will get us. So this game, and I know it's a cliche, blah blah blah. It's another cup final for us. It's another 3 points we need.
It's
I mean,
it's not
sorry,
just this game. Have you seen the other games as well? Like the fixtures this week are very, very interesting. So you got,
yeah.
I mean, look, we can always have a little eye on Chelsea. They're playing Burnley.
Mm.
And I think why I bring up Burnley is obviously we're playing Watford, so they're 2 points behind Burnley. I think Watford. So say if Burnley was to pick up any points against Chelsea, Watford are going to have to try and pick up points themselves. But then
At
if
the moment, yeah, they're going down at the moment. The
but then if
form,
Burnley pick up points against Chelsea and we pick up points, we close the gap on Chelsea.
yeah.
So this is where it gets interesting. And then you've got that. Then after that, you've got Man United. So if we win, we obviously go point ahead on Man United, who are playing Man City.
Do you see that as a?
Sure.
I don't know. That could work for us or against us. The fact that Burnley are playing Chelsea before we play Watford, because if Burnley get a good result, that might then stoke up, Watford to kind of like, play that bit harder. Or if Burnley get a bad result, maybe then they might. I don't know. I don't know. Would you think it's a good or a bad? I personally think it's a bad thing. But I mean, do you think it's a good or a bad thing that Burnley and Chelsea are playing before we play?
I don't know. It can work to your advantage. It can work to your disadvantage. This is the problem. It's the handle of who can handle the pressure the most. Because not only have they got to keep an eye on Burnley, they've obviously got Everton. They're looking at Everton because they're not far behind, and obviously Leeds are playing right now against Leicester.
Yeah.
So, Everton, we're going to have to beat Spurs, so we don't have to worry about them. But then if they say Burnley or Everton did win, and they drop points, well, it's game over for them. So this really is their cup final. So I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting 1 point, or maybe we lose 3 points, because Watford are going to have to go for it.
Yeah.
But it's how they deal with that pressure, and the fact that they're missing one of their talisman as well, in Sarr. It's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, he causes problems, doesn't he? He draws people and players out of positions. So so I have to say, listen, yes, it's only a plus for us if we make sure that we kind of take control of the game and from early doors really. It's going to get
if Chelsea beat Burnley, they're still going to want to go for it. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, we just got to do our jobs. We just got to do our jobs. Not worry about what's going on around us. If we do our job, then things will fall into place. So that's all we've got to do. 100%. James, again, big 6-3. We're talking about obviously maybe getting a certain players if we do get the top 4. Big 6-3, centre forward and a smaller built striker in the summer, Jonathan David. I mean, listen, that's the thing. I mean, do you think we would go for 1 or 2? I think we would go, especially if Nketiah leaves and also Lacazette doesn't agree a new contract.
If they both leave, we have to, because Balogun's not ready yet. Not for me. Balogun needs another season on loan for me.
How do you feel he did against Middlesbrough? Spurs.
Well, when he come on, he done well. I want to ask you something actually, because do you think the strikers' roles changed a bit? What I mean by that is their job just scoring goals anymore? Because if you look at the top 10 goal scorers in the Premier League, only 3 of them are strikers, and it's probably the same for other leagues. You've seen a lot more wingers, like ones that come in. They're the ones that are getting your goals at the moment. So this is what annoys me with people going, "Oh, well, Lacazette doesn't score goals," but you need to watch football to see what Lacazette actually does. And obviously,
I get that. What Lacazette does and what he brings to the team, I understand fully what you're saying, because he does. He's the kind of the glue basically to us going forward. However, I feel that maybe we could get an upgrade to what Lacazette brings.
I think this is why we're looking at Vicarage, because he could do both. He could score goals and he could do that as well.
Exactly.
And I think James brought up Jonathan David there, who's pretty similar to Lacazette, and he can score goals. Yeah. He's only young, and I think he's got a high ceiling as well. So we do need to look at players like that. I'm just saying is that we need to get the idea that the striker role has changed now.
I agree with you, and that's why, with regards to the strikers role kind of, like changing, that's why I kind of feel like maybe Pepe could do a job up there.
Okay, yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
So, but
It's interesting.
because what's
That's
his
for a
name?
different show.
Sorry.
I said that's probably for a different show, but yeah,
Absolutely. But yeah, I just feel that yeah, you're right. The striker role is changing. It's evolving, and
look at
that
the
player.
look at the three teams that are above us. The top three. Man City haven't got an out striker. Liverpool, you can make a case for Jota possibly a striker, but he's not really a striker. And then Chelsea don't
He's
really
kind of
play
like an
very
inside
well.
forward, isn't he? He's like an
Yeah,
inside.
they play Havertz in the false nine usually. So
Yeah,
you got to think to yourself.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
actually,
and
the style is changed.
Lukaku isn't doing much, simply
No.
because his build-up play isn't great at all. His touch is like a brick wall. To be fair, he's great at hustling and bustling, but other than that, and he can, yeah, he can finish. But other than that, and I guess that's why Aubameyang was kind of like
I think we've just set up guns, haven't we?
underperforming because he's really and truly Aubameyang's play isn't that great. He's a great finisher and he's got great movement, and he needs wingers. He's the type of player that needs wingers, people threading balls through, etc., etc. But we need a striker that actually is involved with the build-up play to kind of create kind of overloads, be it from our inside forwards and also the third man run like Odegaard or whatever. But there's a few comments I'm just going to rattle through quickly. Brendan,
I think we just set up your gunslingers for Tuesday, mate.
I think so. I think we might have just stumbled upon one there, innit? Brendan, how you doing, mate? Hope you're good. One person that comes to mind with this fixture is Troy Deeney. Yes, absolutely.
But I respect what he said there, because he weren't wrong, was he? He weren't wrong.
Yeah, do you know what? He probably said out loud what everybody or all Arsenal fans were thinking, inwardly thinking, if you know what I mean. Come on, man. Where's the spine?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Cojones. Jay's right there. And obviously talking about Balogun.
He is.
To kind of see him, to get him back in the summer, see how he does. And see how it does in the pre-season fixtures and stuff. And we all know James likes a DCL.
I don't.
That's why I said Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Huh?
I wouldn't mind it. But at first, I was like, but I don't think he's the kind of workhorse that we want. Maybe like an impact player coming off the bench if we're just lobbing balls in. Maybe. I don't know.
I could actually see us, and I think we would definitely need someone like a Dominic Calvert-Lewin in our squad. I could actually see us getting him, and then maybe another striker. In the summer. Kind of fits the profile basically of what we're trying to build towards. Young, English. Physically he's a strong guy. And I think he'd do a good job with a plan B, maybe, or sometimes if we need to switch up tactically with certain teams. So I think absolutely. And come on, DCL is much better than you guys think.
Well, if he comes, James, and he has to prove us wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And he says if he's added into the team, he will feast. But did you guys outside? Yes, we did, James. Thank you. We know that Sar's at the game tomorrow. But the thing is, though, James, what I will say to you is that we don't play with natural wingers. We play with inside forwards. A left footer playing on the right. So obviously they're looking to cut in. We don't have a player, unless Pepe does play on the left, that wants to get to the byline and cross the ball on. And to be fair, Pepe is not really that type of player anyway. I think those players are really there's not many of those players about these days, is there? I mean, I'm trying to think of a winger that actually does people for fun and whips crosses in. Who
Like a top quality one. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah.
No.
So they're kind of like a dying breed, but I get it. Certain teams do play that way. Do you know who I'd actually really like though from Everton? We're talking about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I'd like Richarlison.
Nah.
Nah, you wouldn't have him.
Nah, he's another one with a hot head.
I think. Do you know what?
I would not be able to manage him. I'm telling you now. He would not. Nah, he won't be able to manage him. He'll be a hard player to manage. You watch Lampard struggle with him. Trust me.
Really?
Yeah.
I think. Do you know what? Him. I think he would. Put him in the middle up top for us. I think he would do bits. Ollie Watkins, I would take. He would score more for us than at Villa. I don't know. What's your take on Ollie Watkins?
I don't know.
His first season in the Prem was great. I thought he had a very good first season. This season is, and the second season they say is normally kind of like the season that makes or breaks you, kind of thing. You know, to find you out. Finds you out as a player. And I think this season's, unless next season he comes back, but I think this season's been pretty much found out. He's not an unknown quantity.
Yeah, I think for the level we want to be at, I don't think he's the answer. He's not a bad player, not a bad player at all. But I'm not too sure. Brendan's on your side there.
Yeah. But and James is saying DCO and Jonathan David for me in the summer for a striker.
Yeah, I am not against that whatsoever.
I would take both Everton strikers, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison.
Take both Everton strikers. Look where they are in the league.
Yeah, but look at the rest of the bloody team. And to be fair, Richarlison caused us all kinds of problems in the game against them. And he scored. So, yeah, it's something about him, man. It's a good player because he's good on the ball. I just feel that he's got a few more levels to go up. I really do. I really do. He's young, man. He's what, 23, 24? If that.
Yeah, well.
And what he's doing right now, I reckon if we put a good 70 million bid for him, we'll get him. Listen, he's a big player, man.
All right.
Okay. I'll rate him. I really do.
You must have signed him for manager. Is he doing well for you?
No, I haven't actually. Gums has gone missing on that. He's not playing anymore because I think I'll keep beating him in our games. So
yeah. I mean, he's not taking that well, is he?
He's not. He's keeps saying, "Oh, but battering you," then boom.
He's saying he's got work and things like that.
Oh, here we go. We've got a whopper here. James Wright. Jesus, Richarlison. Listen, James, we need to talk, mate. Come on, Richarlison's decent.
They're both the same. I don't want any of them.
He doesn't rate him. But look, listen, right. We're going to wrap this up. And I want from you, Mr. Silver Fox, a score prediction for tomorrow. I know this is the part where everybody gets clipped and memed and blah, blah.
Yeah, no. And I was going to say, I'm not going to be in the reaction, so I don't really want to give a prediction, but now you've asked me.
I have to. It's part of the show. That's the problem.
I know. Listen. If I sit here and we'll go with Chelsea's beating Burnley and Watford need to get the points, it's going to be tight. I'm going to go, it could be 2-1 either way. It could be 1-1.
What are you saying to me? Okay.
But my heart says 2-1 Arsenal. It's going to be tight.
And your head?
I was watching Cannon Chat the other day and I went mad and said 5-0 and I thought, why did I say that? But now I've thought about it now. But I'll go 2-1 Arsenal. Do you want goal scorers? Go on then. You can have ESR and then you can have ESR if he starts. And then I say it every time I'm on here, party to score, but I'm going to leave that to the last game of the season. So I will go for Lacazette. I'm hoping that even though he didn't really score that goal, he forced it in. So I'm going for a Lacazette goal. I think he's going to score.
Okay.
Well, I guess again, but.
All right. Now,
What
fair
about
dues.
you? Before you try and bypass it. Don't worry, I won't
You know
click it.
what? I reckon we could do this 2-0, to be fair.
That's confident. That's a confident. 2-0's confident.
I think it won't be easy, but I think if we score early, we could do more. But I do think yeah, I like the way what we're doing at the moment, the way we're looking. So hopefully the guys, you know, got their head on and they're ready for the battle, because it will be a battle tomorrow. But yeah,
As long as we win and give Man United the shanks before they come out against City.
That's what we need to do. We need to ensure that we're doing our jobs. If we're doing our jobs, that's it. That's all we can ask of the players, is that you just keep churning out the 3 points, because that's the only thing that matters. So
the next 2 games we need to win.
Absolutely.
Win.
Absolutely. So they're big, and I go back to it again. I coined the phrase: they're all cup finals, and we have to play them as such. Don't leave nothing, you know, on the, you know, just put everything out there on the pitch. We've got a lovely breaks in between matches, so you know, there's no point in kind of holding back. Go all out. That being said, we're going to wrap this up. Mr. Silver Fox, it's been a pleasure, sir. And all I can say is thank you very much. And listen, if your score prediction comes to fruition, then I'll be happy. But guys,
don't care how we win, as long as we do.
Exactly. Guys, we've obviously on the Armory channel, we've got a packed week next week still, with obviously our resident shows. We'll have the breakdown, we'll have gunslingers amongst all others as well. And also as well, if you're on Twitter, look out for us on the spaces and stuff. But please like, share and subscribe, and thank you.
Come on, you Gunners.
Come on.